Imagine confidently navigating any real estate conversation, turning skeptics into signed listings, even when you get hit with the toughest objections. Most real estate agents avoid expired listings and for sale by owners because they fear getting objections and hearing no's. They think it's too hard, too uncomfortable. But the truth is, that's where your biggest opportunities are when you are prepared. I'm going to give you a simple and powerful system to turn objections into qualified listing appointments. I'm going to give you the exact language and the delivery so you sound like an undeniable authority. It's going to make "I'm not selling anymore" and "I don't want to pay a commission" a thing of the past. It's time to stop guessing and start closing. And it all starts with understanding how sellers think so you can say what they need to hear in order for you to control the conversation and set appointments. This is short, but it's extremely important. So pay close attention. Expired listings and for sale by owners don't want to talk to real estate agents. If you wanted to sell your house, would you want to talk to a complete stranger who's just interested in listing your house and making money? Hell no. What you need to do is come across as a knowledgeable professional who can solve their problem. But in order to do that, you need to be very clear on what their problems are. And by the end of this video, you will know it all. What are the problems that expireds and FSBOs have and how you can be the solution to their problems? That is how you're going to take listings and get them sold. Understanding why objections happen is the first step. But you also need to know exactly what to say, and even more importantly, how to say what it is you need to say. How you deliver the scripts is 93% of where persuasion happens. Your tone, your pace, and your energy are the silent closers. Let's talk about how to master the delivery so your words have authority. I wrote down 4 steps on this. Number 1, this is actually going to build your confidence. You can predict every objection you're going to get, and your ability to say the right words the right way will determine your results. And when I say the right way, I'm talking about your tonality and body language, which represents 93% of what they hear. Only 7% of communication comes from the actual scripts. Think about this. You could say the stupidest thing, but if you say it with confidence and conviction, it will have a much greater impact than saying the right things without any confidence. Here's point number 2. It's a fact that your voice is less impactful over the phone. It loses its power because over the phone, our voice is compressed. It's a digital version without your body language, without the energy and the presence of in-person communication. So, to come across with power, you have to intentionally compensate by standing up, smiling, speaking with clarity, and bringing way more energy than you think you need. You have to be over the top. And there's a simple way for you to prove this. If you listen to your recordings, you record your calls, listen to it, you will see how low energy and monotone it sounds because it's a recording. It's the same thing that happens when you speak with them over the phone. Point number 3, use downswings. If you're wondering what is that, it's exactly what I just did. And I speak in downswings where your tonality goes down. It creates immediate authority. You want to sound confident, speak with downswings. Confidence in your voice makes them feel confident in you. And number 4, mirror and match their energy, rate of speech, and their volume, really their emotion for the first few seconds of the call. So you mirror and match. If they sound angry and frustrated, you're going to sound angry and frustrated with them. If they speak fast, you speak fast. If they're loud, you're loud. If they speak low, you're going to match it. This builds instant rapport with anyone, anywhere, because people like people who are like themselves. They feel comfortable when you sound like them. And the opposite, if you communicate with the opposite emotion, energy, volume, rate of speech, it's repelling to them. And rapport is critical because it comes before influence. If you are out of rapport with a seller on the phone, you don't have the ability to influence them. This is over the phone, but the truth is it applies exactly the same way in person. Now that you understand how to deliver the words, I am going to give you a simple, powerful 4-step process to handle and overcome any objections over the phone. Step 1, you are going to listen very intently to what they're saying. You're going to pay attention. When they're giving you the objection, you're not going to be in your head thinking about what to say and how to say it. It's too late now. It's either going to come out of your mouth or it's not. If you make a lot of calls and you practice, there's a better chance that you will say the right things, which, by the way, I'm going to teach you word for word a little bit later in this video. So step 1, listen intently, be present. Step 2, you're going to repeat the objection they gave you. Now, it's going to be very difficult for you to repeat it if you weren't listening intently. You're going to repeat and validate it. I'm going to give you plenty of examples. I'm going to give you word for word how to respond. So hang in there. When you repeat and validate, they feel heard and understood, and it lowers the resistance in the conversation. They have a wall up, it brings that wall down. Step number 3, you are going to ask a question that creates doubt and sparks their curiosity. Step number 4, you're going to ask for the appointment. That's it. It's as easy as that. And again, in the next few steps, I'm going to show you how to do it. A quick note here, because I'm not going to say this later. When you ask for the appointment, they may say yes, but they may also say, no, call me in a month. They may give you another objection. What do they do if they give you another objection? You go to step 1, step 2, 3, and 4. You ask again. You go through the same process. And remember that 80% of the yeses happen after asking 5 times. So be ready for that. Even with the perfect delivery and the perfect words, you are still gonna get objections. 99% of the calls you make, you are going to get objections. Being a great prospector is not about never getting objections. It's about knowing exactly how to overcome them and lead the seller towards setting an appointment. And before I give you the exact words, I want to remind you that objections are not the end of the call. It's actually a huge opportunity. It's the gateway to setting appointments. Why? Because they're still on the phone. They haven't hung up on you. So that is where you have this opportunity. The purpose of prospecting is to take listings, and your ability to take listings depends on who you speak with. You're not in the business of convincing people to sell. That's not going to work. There are no objection handlers that are going to overcome the objection of, I don't want to sell. When somebody doesn't want to sell, that's not an objection. It's a condition. So help yourself by speaking with expireds and for sale by owners because they want to sell. Way too many agents waste a lot of time and energy convincing or trying to convince people that don't want to move to move. So don't waste your time on that. Now, let's start with expireds. Put yourself in their shoes. I wrote this down, a few questions. I want you to think about this. How would you feel if you had a home on the market for sale for 6 months and it didn't sell? Would you be angry with your realtor? Probably. Would you be doubting every single agent, thinking, well, my realtor couldn't sell, every agent is the same, so why should I trust anybody else? Yeah? Would you feel discouraged and probably exhausted after all this time? Yes. Would you maybe even feel embarrassed or desperate because you have to move, or you need the money from the sale of your house for whatever it is you need to do? This is the state that expired listings are in when you call them. And guess what? It has nothing to do with you. So don't take it personally. Actually, you should feel bad for them. I do. I actually completely understand their anger and their frustration. I don't know anyone that would be happy with that kind of situation. Think about other agents that are calling expireds, if any of them are. And in most markets, there are some. What are they saying to these expired listings that they're going to do to sell the house? Put it in the MLS, take some pictures, make some videos, put a for sale sign, do some open houses, put it on several websites. Isn't that most likely what their previous agent was doing? Yes. When you think about how to communicate with these expired listings, what are they looking for? Certainly not the same. They're looking for an agent who's going to do things differently, not the same MLS, open houses, all this stuff. They're looking for an active and aggressive agent who's going to find the buyer for their home. And this is exactly what you do when you prospect. Prospecting, being this active and aggressive agent, sets you apart. You are not like all the other average agents in your marketplace. You're not sitting around hoping and praying somebody walks into your open house, or putting a house in the multiple listing and just, again, hoping and praying that somehow somebody's going to sell it. You're out there, you're hustling, you're talking to people every day about buying and selling real estate. Let me give you the exact words. I wrote down 2 of the most common expired objections, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to overcome them, not handle them, overcome them. The most common one that I wrote down is, I'm not selling anymore. What's really interesting about this objection is it true that they're not selling anymore? In most cases, it's not. It's just a smoke screen. They're exhausted, they're frustrated, they're getting a lot of calls from agents all saying the same thing. So they say, I'm not selling. But actually, if you believe them, hang up and maybe call them back a week later, you're going to find that a lot of them listed with somebody else. So how do you respond? They say, I'm not selling anymore. I completely understand. So it sounds like you're just going to leave the house off the market then? That's right. I'm just leaving it off the market. And I'm just curious, Mr. Seller, use their name. I'm just curious, John, when are you thinking that you might put the home back for sale? Oh, I don't know, or never, or a year from now. It doesn't matter what they say. You repeat and validate. Okay, so you're thinking you're just really not going to sell it at all at any point in the near future. And John, I got to ask you a quick question. If you were absolutely confident that your house would sell, would you consider putting it back on the market now? This has to be said exactly the way I said it. When you say if you were absolutely confident, you have to sound confident. Remember I talked about the downswings to sound confident? If I say, if you were absolutely confident, that's the opposite of a downswing. It's an upswing. And it causes them to doubt what they're saying. They're like, oh, you sound really weird. You're saying confident, but you don't sound confident. So when you sound weird, well, they get weird and they hesitate and they lose complete confidence in you. So you ask that question, which is to create doubt and spark curiosity. And if they say, well, I don't know, maybe, then you ask for the appointment. Great. What I like to do is come by and meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Are you available for 20 minutes around 3 o'clock today, or would 4 be better for you? That's it. That's step number 4. So you notice with this that I just follow the 4 steps that I gave you earlier. Here's another common expired objection. What do you do differently? You could expect this. Oh, every agent is saying the same thing. What are you going to do? Okay, Mr. Seller, I'm repeating and approving. That is a very important question, because I would imagine that the last thing you want is another agent to do the same thing that your previous agent did that didn't get the house sold, right? Exactly, absolutely. And Mr. Seller, that is why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you exactly what I do differently to get homes sold quickly and for top market price. Our meeting would only take 20 minutes. Are you available today at 3 o'clock, or would 4 be better for you? Simple, the same 4 steps. Now let's talk about for sale by owners. Think about this. What is going on with a FSBO? Why does a homeowner choose to sell on their own? To save the commission. It's a money conversation. If you talk to them about anything else, they are not interested because you're not speaking their language. Now, what if I told you that for sale by owners actually lose money? They don't save the commission. They actually sell for less when they sell on their own. Would you believe it? The facts actually prove that they do end up with less money, whether you believe it or not. The average for sale by owner sells for less than the agent assisted sales, and the margin is big. One important reason is that FSBOs are targeted by people who are looking for a deal. And they know that for sale by owners don't have an agent. They're not getting a lot of exposure. There isn't a lot of demand for their property, and they don't have negotiating skills. Actually, over the past decade, I wrote down FSBO sold on average for 15% less than the homes that were listed and sold by agents because of the problems that they have. And these are problems that you can solve. Now, once you know that they care about money, and it's really the only conversation they care about, and you know that they have problems that cost them money, and you can solve those problems for them. Now, think about that. When I was selling real estate, knowing this gave me a sense of responsibility to actually call them, because if they sell on their own, they will lose money. And if they don't hire me, they're making a huge mistake. When you understand this, you become unstoppable. And the dialogue to actually express this to them over the phone is, Mr. Seller, let's meet for just 20 minutes. I want to show you how working with me will get your home sold quickly for top market price, and you will end up putting more money in your pocket even after my commission is paid. Would you have 20 minutes for our meeting around 3 o'clock today? Would 4 be better? Oh no, but I don't want to list with an agent. I completely understand, Mr. Seller. And what I would like to do is simply come by and show you how I can benefit you financially. And at the end of our meeting, you decide what's best for yourself. So would you have 20 minutes around 3 o'clock today? Would 4 be better? No obligation. Take the pressure off, but you do need to learn this presentation. So let's go to their common objections. How about, I don't need an agent. I can sell it myself. What do you do when you hear that? Mr. Seller, when I say Mr. Seller, use their name. Okay, so I'm just going to use John. John, I hear you and I agree with you. I have no doubt that you can sell it yourself. That was the step 2, repeat and approve. Now it's step 3. And at the same time, John, if I can show you a way where by working with me, you'll end up with more money than if you sold it yourself, is that something that you'd be interested in looking at? Well, I don't know how you can do that. I completely understand. And that's why I'd like to come by and meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you how it would benefit you financially to work with a knowledgeable professional agent like myself. So would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? I already did this, but I'm going to do it again. Oh, well, but I don't want to list the property right now. I understand completely, Mr. Seller, and you are absolutely under no obligation. Let me just show you what I can do for you in the sale of your property. And at the end of our meeting, you decide what's best for yourself. It's that simple. It's the same dialogue over and over. Another common objection: I don't want to pay a commission. Here's what's interesting. You probably already noticed that these objections, they sound different, but you can handle them the same way. Okay, there's different ways of saying the same thing, but the process is always the same. So I don't want to pay a commission. I hear you, Mr. Seller, and quite honestly, if I was in your situation and I thought that I could sell my house on my own and save the commission, I'd probably be doing it myself too. And at the same time, Mr. Seller, let me ask you, if you were confident that by working with a knowledgeable professional like myself, you could actually end up making money instead of an agent simply costing you money, is that something that you might consider? Well, maybe, but I don't know how you can do that. I understand. Obviously, you don't know who I am or what I do, and that's why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you exactly what I'm going to do to end up putting more money in your pocket. And ultimately, that is the whole goal of selling it yourself, isn't it? Well, yeah, of course. So what would be a good time for me to come by? I have an opening today around 3 o'clock, or would 4 be better for you? I wrote down another one. I have a friend in real estate. Is that a for sale by owner objection? Not really, but it seems like for sale by owners have more friends in real estate than anybody else out there. So I just decided to put it here. So when they say I have a friend in real estate, Mr. Seller, I completely understand. And I would imagine that you are thinking, well, if I end up deciding to use a real estate agent, I might as well use my friend. So I completely understand where you're coming from. And at the same time, Mr. Seller, if there was a significant advantage for you to work with someone other than your friend, is that something that you might consider? Well, I don't know. What do you mean significant advantage? That's a great question, John, and that's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you exactly what the advantages are of working with an agent like myself. And at the end of our meeting, you can decide what's best for yourself. Would 3 o'clock work for you today, or would 4 be better? There are different versions of this. There's different ways of doing it, but the process is exactly the same. I want to give you a simple way of handling it, and trust me, this may very well work. And if it doesn't, you're going to go again. It's just, I told you this before when I gave you the 4 steps. It usually takes 5 closes, handling 5 different objections to get a yes. So you need to get used to that process and not give up after the first one. So now the last part of what I want to give you is the most dreaded objections of all. What is your commission? And a pricing objection like, can you sell it for $500,000? So here's the most important rule. This is going to be short and sweet, okay? You're going to know exactly what to do. Never discuss commission or price over the phone. When I say never, I mean never. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they say it. You do not engage in a conversation about commission and price. So then what is it that you do when they give you the objection? Acknowledge it and state your value. What does it sound like, Mr. Seller? I understand that the commission you pay, price is the same. It's a little variation, but it's the same. I understand, Mr. Seller, why you're asking about the commission, because obviously you want to be able to sell this property and keep as much money as possible for yourself. And the commission is a variable in that equation. So obviously, it's something very important for you. And Mr. Seller, what I want to confirm with you right now is my only goal in meeting with you and possibly working with you is to sell your home quickly and for the highest price this market can give us. So you can walk away from the closing table with the most money possible. That is what you want, isn't it? Absolutely. So let's go ahead and set up a 20-minute meeting, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that for you. And we'll discuss the commission in detail. Well, but tell me, how much is your commission? My commission is negotiable, Mr. Seller. And again, we'll discuss that in detail during our meeting. So 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? You cannot hesitate. If you're speaking with them and you start fumbling, I don't know, and you say, my goal is to sell your home for the most money possible. That's what you want, isn't it? And you use an upswing and then you just pause, you lose momentum, you lose control of the call. You sound like you lack confidence if you speak with upswings, or you have these weird pauses, and the seller questions what's going on. I don't want to waste my time meeting with you. I don't trust what you're saying. So you need to be on. You need to be precise. So pricing objection would be something very, very similar. Mr. Seller, I understand that selling the home for the most money possible is very important to you, and it sounds like 500,000 is that number that you have in mind that you like to sell for, right? 100%. And Mr. Seller, let me assure you that my goal is to sell your home quickly and for the absolute highest price this market will give us. And in preparation for our meeting, I'm going to prepare a very detailed market analysis. When we meet, we'll take a look at the home, we'll look at the market analysis together, and we'll determine what is the highest price that we can sell your property for in today's market. So would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? That's it. Nothing else. You don't get down a rabbit hole, okay? Commission and price conversations over the phone are a rabbit hole. Final thought I want to give you is this: consistent practice and a lot of conversations with real sellers will make you a master. There are 4 steps for you to master this conversation and master handling objections. Number 1, you have to internalize the scripts. You have to own them. You cannot be like reading word for word when you're on the phone. In the beginning, you are going to have to do that, but you want to practice daily so you can master the scripts, as all of them, as soon as possible. The best way for you to master scripts, internalize them, is read them out loud as fast as you can. Over and over and over and over and over. I actually did this my first few years in real estate for about an hour a day. Not an hour all at once. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, another 15 minutes later in the day, 1 hour a day. And within a couple of months, I knew all of the script. I'm talking every script. Facebook, expired, objection handlers, pre-qualifying, closes, listing. I internalized it all, and that's how I did it. And you can do it too. Step 2, once you have the scripts internalized and you own them, it's how you speak. You don't have to think or read. You can work on the delivery, because the delivery requires you to listen intently. You need to be present to the conversation. But if you don't know what you're going to say next, it's very hard to be present to the conversation. You're just in your head thinking about what to say. Step 3, I wrote down: find some tough role play partners and ask them to give you real objections, like what they hear when they call FSBOs and expireds. When you practice with a role play partner that is tough and that gives you honest feedback, you feel that pressure. When you practice under pressure, that's when you get better. If you have a role play partner and you're just like super easy on each other and you're just reading the script, you're wasting your time. You're not learning anything. And then the last point I wrote down on this is record and critique your calls. Listen to yourself and what you sound like. You already know now what you're supposed to sound like. Is that what you hear when you listen to yourself? The truth is, we typically don't know what we sound like until we hear back. And you can't change what you don't acknowledge. If you don't know what you sound like, how are you going to get better? And I still do listen to myself sometimes because I have to. But in the beginning of my real estate career, I used to listen to my recorded calls and I used to cringe on how bad it sounded. But listening to that made me better because I'm never going to say that again. That is horrible. That was so bad that it motivated me to improve and get better. So make sure you're doing that. Follow the steps I gave you, and I know you're going to have huge success. The ability to handle any objection is a game changer for your real estate business. This skill alone will set you apart and move you closer to closing more deals consistently. And that's why I put together this video with the exact system that I use to close over 100 transactions a year for a decade. And if you are ready to build a predictable listing business and take your career to the next level, check the link to SalesX training in the description of this video so you can join a powerful community of agents who are building their businesses every single day using proven systems, skills, and accountability.